back to, oh my god, that's on fake.
Welcome back to our YouTube channel. No?
Hey guys, so welcome back to another video here on the Still Soul mental health space. Yeah, definitely need to work on that intro. So we're back with part 2 of Jamaican mental health myths. We're debunking some things that have really been just sitting in our society. All right, one thing about, like, the main thing that I want to achieve here on this channel is more awareness and education when it comes to mental health and mental well-being and mental illnesses, especially for Jamaican people. Like, other people I know will be watching this channel, but especially Jamaican people. Yeah. So the last time we did over 20 minutes covering just three. My grade chop off.
When she watched the video, she'll see me guys talking.
You.
Okay.
You. Yeah.
Alright.
So we did 3 the last time, and there were some good topics. If you haven't watched that video yet, click the card that I'll probably put somewhere up here, if not in the description box. You can, open a new tab, watch it, and then come back here, and you'll be all caught up. So we're going to get into the 4th one, which is, well, the 4th and 5th, I'm going to just combine them because I feel like they're kind of connected. But the 4th myth about mental health in Jamaica is that only madmen have mental health issues.
Yes, I'm a madman. Do I look like a madman?
Okay. Well, next question. But yeah, that again comes from ignorance, I believe. Yes, there are a couple people who are living on the street who
have mental illnesses.
Yeah, sometimes they have drug addiction that causes a lot of cognitive disruption. But there are other people
who are also just homeless.
Yeah,
they're very, very sane.
They're in their right mind and
very much homeless. They're just homeless. And it's very easy to go from living the life to being on the streets.
Especially if you don't know what you're doing financially.
Exactly. It's like you could own a home today, and tomorrow the government is like, you've missed like 10 mortgage payments. Bye. Especially if you don't have family. Like to go to lose them job.
10?
I mean, like 10 is an exaggeration.
Okay.
But like, you missed your mortgage payments, you don't have a job, you don't have, it's taken a while, especially if you don't have the right links in Jamaica to get a new job. You don't have links in what the name, NHT or wherever to be able to, like, chop a line. We don't chop lines.
Girl!
But I'm saying what that happened.
I'm trying to be monetized.
I'm sorry.
Don't do that.
I'm sorry.
Chop.
But yeah, like, you don't have any support or anybody to help you to keep you home or to put you up until you can get back on your feet. Guess where you're going to go? On the streets. Doesn't mean you're a madman. You're just homeless. And even if you are homeless, it doesn't mean that. Wait, I just said that. It's the same thing I said in the next way.
Yes.
But yeah, and persons that are on the streets, like, even if you see them behaving, erratic and stuff like that, sometimes it's being on the streets for so long that they lose touch with reality, lose touch with, sometimes I feel like the reality that they've created for themselves is way better than the reality that we live in. Like,
you want to go with them?
Sometimes I'm just like, yo.
I mean, so it's the case then that even though it's not only madmen have mental health issues, obviously, but is it that there are majority of the people on the street that have mental health issues?
I wouldn't be able to say that. Scientifically speaking, as a student of research, we are not able to put a figure to that.
Right. That would be something that, you know,
It would be a huge stretch for us to...
Government would have to tell us.
Yeah.
They'll have to do some
We'd
kind
have
of
to
survey
call
or some
Statman
kind
or
of...
something.
Statman will have to do it.
Yeah.
But mental health issues is not just reserved for people on the street. There are people in your offices who they're walking around, they're functioning very well, they're meeting all their goals, they're, you know, top performers, they are just hitting the targets, they are well put together, they laugh the loudest, and then when they go home or when they go down into their cars in the parking lot at 4:30, the masks drop and they're just like
even for example, friends and I that have like ADHD, right? We find that when we are no longer able to mask and we're just like, yeah, what happened to you? You okay? I'm totally fine. I just don't have the energy to pretend to be.
And that's just the truth.
Like, you know, I just don't have the energy to be like, oh my gosh, hi.
Yeah.
No, like,
yeah.
so I'm just here. But I'm cool. Like, I'm legit fine. Yeah.
So yeah, mental health issues aren't just reserved for people that live on the street. And kind of connected to that is our fifth.
This one.
Yeah, fifth point. Our fifth point is that our fifth myth is that mentally unstable people are inherently or automatically dangerous. Now, I'm saying this as a myth, knowing full well that a couple weeks ago, somebody that was on the street attacked somebody somewhere. I think it was in St. James or.
So it wouldn't be a myth. It would be a generalization.
Then yeah,
it would be a generalization to think that once you have a mental health issue, then you're inherently dangerous.
Because I've talked to people who are like related to persons who have like schizophrenia and stuff, and they've shared on like the fact that, you know, sometimes when they're not on their medication or when they're having an episode, they can be a threat. But that's not like everybody. I knew somebody as a child who I didn't know that she had schizophrenia until I got older and had better understanding. She had schizophrenia, and when she had her episodes, she was locked up in her house. You never know she was there. And she'd be locked up in there for days.
So maybe she's not a danger to others, but a danger to herself.
So I guess it's less of a myth and more of a generalization.
Yeah.
So there are persons who have mental health issues who may, if they are not treated, if they don't have the proper treatment or they are not getting the proper help, then they can be a threat. Most times, based on what I've read, they're more of a threat to themselves than to other people. I mean, persons who have mental health issues were often victims of, you know, acts of violence.
Yeah.
Which triggered a trauma, which caused a trauma, which triggered, like, you know, that kind of mental breakdown. Right.
Like a repetition of.
But it's not everybody.
So it's not like, oh, just because somebody is diagnosed with whatever or is undiagnosed, whatever, has some mental disorder,
they're automatically
they're going to see in half a and be like, no.
So I can't. I'm here and I'm struggling with depression. I'm not gonna just attack Racquel out of the blue, like Chinese. But yeah, like no. So some people, yes, but then normal people attack people too. Normal people are dangerous too. So it's just like
people are just inherently dangerous. I mean, look at the world we live in.
Some people,
yeah. Humans, how dare you, human?
I guess humans just human.
Some
are more dangerous than others. Some are able to. Some have a moral compass,
and others don't.
Yeah. So I guess that's that. But you guys can tell me. Do you believe that people who are mentally unstable, who have mental illnesses, they are inherently dangerous? Do you have that belief?
I just realized something. We say mentally unstable, but not have a mental disorder. Because you can have a mental disorder and still be stable because you're receiving treatment or you're able to cope, you're even if you don't know that you're using coping mechanisms, you're keeping yourself stable. But if it is that you're mentally unstable, you have this disorder, you have whatever dysfunction, but you're not able to regulate, you're not able to control certain things, then you're more likely to behave
erratically.
Yeah.
But is it always dangerous?
I don't think so. No, it's not. Because you could, like, there's this guy that's always on Constant Spring that's always talking. I'd like to say that he's talking to God. I feel more comfortable when I say he's talking to God. Just stand up there. What you say? No, not today. Not today. I'm just like, we can't have that kind
So he's unstable,
but
he's not.
He's not like attacking anybody. He's literally just talking to the sky.
Yeah. So I guess that's the clarity. So it's not a matter of them having a mental illness or not. It's whether or not they're stable at the moment, and does that stability therefore mean that they are dangerous? No. All right, and this one I think it's I don't know if it's Jamaican. It's more like the black community, but we're mostly black out here. So black people don't do counseling.
Bad man don't go counseling. Bad man don't talk about bad man business. Scratch that. That's not how it works. We have this notion that once as a black person, like I think this is going into it ties in with the last one as well.
Yeah, so the last one, which is linked to this one, is that needing counseling is a sign of weakness or madness.
And that's why black people tend not to go to therapy, not to seek help. Because one, asking for help on a regular basis, most of us feel like we are weak, we are, we're unable to stand on our own, we are dependent on somebody else, so we don't ask for help.
Yeah.
Right? When really and truly we need the help. And so, especially when it comes to your mental health, because even I have found that once somebody doesn't understand what is happening with themselves, they feel like asking somebody else for help with that is a huge blunder. Like, that shouldn't happen. I'm supposed to know more about myself than anybody else.
I feel that before.
So why am I gonna go to counseling for some stranger to tell me what I should know about myself? I'm gonna figure this out on my own.
And it makes you feel kind of inadequate. It can make you feel inadequate that you haven't been able to fend for yourself or get to the bottom of your own issues. And also, I think we kind of see counseling as a waste of money. Because in our heads it's just somebody talking to us, not realizing that this person has years of studying human behavior, of understanding the human psyche and the human mind, of studying different disorders and signs of those things and strategies to cope and deal with them. And I mean, if you have see a psychiatrist, they know what medications can help you to regulate and all of that. So it's not just talking. Yes, talking plays a big part because that's how they can diagnose. But it's not just talking. Like, I can just talk to my friend if I'm feeling down, but she can't diagnose me. She better not, because she go jail.
Literally.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
And I think also, even in just talking, sometimes that conversation with somebody outside of you and outside of your situation can actually talk you through your situation and help you figure it out before it becomes a bigger issue.
Right.
So you being like outside of it, alcohol, like, Paula, this is what's happening and I don't know what to do and Well, have you considered? No, I haven't actually considered that option. So even in therapy, the talking part of it, talking through it, can be a huge help with somebody that is not involved in a situation at all.
An outside opinion can be helpful.
Exactly.
In that. And I find that, like, with my experience with therapy, being asked certain questions allow me to think about a situation in a way that I've not thought about it before. So that situation may have played in my head over and over and over. I've lived through that experience. However, the perspective that this person is bringing to my situation is fresh.
Yeah.
And it can be the thing I needed to say, you know what, actually, you're right, and this is probably what I need to do to help or to get better. So, yeah, I'm not with the whole needing counseling is a sign of weakness and madness. I think that's a lot of fear mongering and shaming.
Yes,
When
and
I was
that's
in high
common
school,
in our culture, in the Black culture. Like, it forces you to not take the family business elsewhere. Because the people just look at, like, once you have to go to counseling, you really have to talk about things.
You
like,
have to tell the people
your business.
And the people don't even know what going
But
on.
I don't even know the family business.
What happens in this house
stays in this house. Well, that's why I'm traumatized.
And so many things are happening in homes across Jamaica and staying in those homes, and it's hurting people.
Exactly.
When I was in high school, there was this girl that she would act out. She would, like, throw fits of rage every so often. And a couple people used to be like, "Oh, she's off." But then their reason, their conclusion was that, oh, one of her parents is a child psychologist, so therefore, I don't know what the logic was, but therefore, because she has that person as a parent, like, I can't even rationalize it, because I'm just like, but hearing how persons would talk about that girl and hearing how people, like, mock her connection, it's not even like she was seen as a psychologist. She just had a parent who was a psychologist. But seeing that connection years later, when I had to go see a therapist because my brain was malfunctioning, it's just like, I don't want to go. I don't want to be mad. I don't want to be seen as weak. I don't want to be seen as, inept.
You know, I didn't feel that way. I didn't feel that way when I reached out to my therapist.
Yeah.
What I was concerned about was, like, how much of my life do I really need to share, though? Like,
and I guess that goes back to the secrecy.
Like, because you know me, like, my friends know, like, if I don't say it, don't ask. I'll share what I want to share when I want to share, if I want to share. Like, yeah, that's me. So imagine having to go to therapy. Like, I made a decision, I'm going to go to therapy.
And they're asking me all the uncomfortable questions.
Do I really want to answer these questions? Like, no, that's not what I want to talk about today. Today I want to talk about the fact that I think that I have ADHD, and we're going to talk about that. Before we get to that, how is your family life? Like, what's your relationship with your mom like?
Don't talk about that.
I want to choose a topic.
Right. So, I mean, going to therapy is not a sign of weakness, obviously. A sign of madness. Some people go to therapy just to do, like, a check-in. Like, it's like you know how some people go to the doctor every year for, like, a checkup to see how they're doing? Some people do counseling like that. They just go and do a session to just kind of check in with themselves and, have somebody be like, okay, so you're kind of not dealing with this part of your life properly. Maybe you should spend more time doing XYZ, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, nowadays there are more persons who are more open to the idea of therapy and to the possibilities of, healing and growth and all these different things. So guys, if you're able to, and if you think you need to, get therapy. Go see a therapist or a counselor. Talk to somebody if you're not coping well with whatever it is. Don't be afraid. I think I'm going to do a video one day on how to choose.
I just realized I've been steaming.
how to choose the right therapist for you, because not everybody has good experiences with therapists. And that's a whole nother topic. However, these are the myths that we've heard as Jamaicans living in Jamaica. But what about you? What have you heard? Do you have anything to add to our list? Do any of these myths resonate with you? Let's talk in the comments below, and you can just let me know, what do you think about these myths? If you ever believed any of them, what are your thoughts on these now? And also, what do you feel? What are your thoughts on mental health in general? So guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, share, and of course subscribe.
And hit the notification bell.
Yes. Ding. To make sure that you are aware when I post next. So
yeah.
until next time.
Bye.